So I'm back with another video. I changed scenery a little bit because I wanted to sit on the couch and I wanted to um see what the visual will look like with the two LED lights in the back. And this is gonna be I'm gonna sit up, and this is gonna be a video where I just talk about my feelings. I am struggling really hard to find motivation to just want to live. And I am fighting. So that is an awesome thing for me because I really don't want to quit. I don't want to just sulk and be sad and depressed. So I am like, okay, what do I do to change how I'm feeling? And I'm like, okay, let me focus on my goal, which is to finish my novel, We Must War. And it's hard because I have to write some really dark stuff. Wow, that's crazy that I'm like getting emotional about that. Well, I started writing in 2015, and it was just me creating this world, this family, and looking for answers. Because most of the time I'm looking for answers. I'm doing research, I am questioning everything. And I was like, you know what? Writing this fiction story about where Black Americans come from and where Native Americans come from, it will lead me to answers because, my mind kind of put pieces together to form a huge puzzle. And it was like, okay, I'm going to just gather things that I've learned from my research and put it into this fiction world to make it make sense to me. And when people read this book, they're going to be like, I can see where she got that from. I can, visualize that being some kind of truth to life. And it's like, okay, I want to leave that for the next generation, for my future children, my future nieces and nephews, and the nieces and nephews that I have today. But it's a struggle writing it because I have to write about family and I have to write about interaction with family. And I've kind of formed this like Huxtable family, this Family Matters family, this family that is not a broken home. And it's hard to write like that because I don't know that. Like I can only reference TV shows. So it's really hard to just come up with it and it not sound like a sitcom when I'm writing. So I'm trying to make it as real as possible. But it does seem like I'm hurting myself when I try to write these things because it's like I wish I had, this family. And the family that I have now is just completely opposite. And it's almost like I don't actually have a family. So I'm like, I'm going to continue writing this because it hurts me, but it's also healing me because I can escape through my writing. And I like reading it back. That's like the hard part about it is like, okay, when I read it, when I write it, I want to read it back. It's like you have to keep going. Just keep writing, keep writing. So right now I'm in the character development stages because when I was writing it in like 2015 to 2016, I was just, grabbing things from the air and just writing, okay, this makes sense. This is what will naturally happen in this sequence of events. And now that I've done more research about writing such intense characters and intense subjects, I know that I have to be more careful and more precise in my planning to write people because I can write anything, but it has to make sense and it has to, be digested through different people's palates. And that's difficult because I have to figure out, who I'm targeting with this book. And I feel like the people that I'm trying to target with this book don't normally or naturally sit down and read, 500 pages of anything. And it's like, okay, well, maybe they will eventually feel like, what, this book was meant for us to read, so I'm going to read it. And I'm writing it in a very natural state of like a Philadelphian type of family. So anyone that's from Philly will understand the language, the lingo, the slang, and it still has drama in the family dynamic anyway. So I'm like, this is going to be pretty cool seeing how people react. But it's really hard getting from my brain and my notes, my voice notes, to actually writing the actual manuscript. And it's like, can I just write it? But I can't really just write it because I have so many messages that I want to put in my work. And I don't want it to just be glossed over. Like everything that I've written is a clue to the next thing. Everything that I've written is a clue to the next thing. So there is no skipping chapters or skipping paragraphs. Like, everything is very intricate and detailed in my work, and I cannot wait till I can't wait till I'm finished so I can read it, because I am like a fan of myself. I know that sounds so cocky and conceited, but I am a fan of my writing. Like, I can't believe that my brain came up with this stuff. Like, I cannot wait to share it with the world. And this is going to be, my legacy. I think a lot of people don't really think about their legacy and what they leave behind because they're so, fast and moving. But I've been privileged enough to take a beat and to focus and hone in on, what I want to do. I'm so grateful and thankful for my mother because she's been there and she's understood. And sometimes she's not understood, but she still was there. She understands that the world is moving to a different beat than I am. And she's allowing me to just be me and trying to figure out what that means. Who am I? I don't really know yet, but I'm trying to figure it out. And this is it's a reflecting situation that I'm in, because I know the second that I get rid of all the distractions, I will be like this super genius person that's gonna go forward and just capture people's attention and force them to understand that there's a group of people, there's a race of people that have been shrunken and deprived of so much. But we're fighting and we're going to get through it, and we're going to take back our power. So once I get rid of all my distractions, that will be my message to the world, that we're not defeated. And even though it looks like it, we're not defeated, and we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep soldiering on, and we're going to keep smiling, and we're going to keep frowning, and we're going to curse, and we're going to sing, and we're going to love, and we're going to hate. But hopefully we can do it together. And that is really what I want to give to the world, that we can do it together. And it's for my people. It's for people that look like me, think like me, people who don't think like me but look like me. Like, we can do this together, and I don't want anyone to give up on each other. And that's what gets me out of my depression, thinking like that, thinking that we're not alone, and we're going to get through this together. That's what keeps me going. Like, humanity goes through their stuff, but once we really look at stuff, we realize, like, we need to do this together, and we need to put everything aside. And when we do that, that's when the earth just feels like, like it's happy. Now I'm just rambling now because I just need to let her know. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will do another video just to,